All right, what's going on YouTube? Card Collector 2 coming at you here with a brand new video. And this is going to be part 1 in a 2-part series for a massive PSA submission. We got just over 250 cards back from PSA. This is one of those bulk orders from last June. I believe the official submission date was right around June 24th. Just got that back recently last week and getting around now to filming it. If you saw the SGC video I posted recently, you'll know had a little bit of camera trouble, so I've actually had this video around for a few days and was planning on posting it, then realized the lighting was off, and that spun off into a bunch of discovery in terms of why the videos weren't going as planned with the lighting. So anyways, here we are. Again, it was 254 cards, all basketball. So this was just a big basketball sub, and again, when you see the cards, there's nothing in here that's like, there's no $10,000, $15,000 cards in this, but keep in mind that this isn't a time when PSA grading was much cheaper. This is when the market had just gotten hot from COVID. This is when the entire card game was very different, and you could grade cards for pennies on the dollar now, or pennies on the dollar, especially compared to where we are now. So a lot of this stuff just costed a couple bucks at the time to grade. I mean, it was more than a couple dollars, but you get the gist. So gonna get into it, but keep in mind, you know, when you see some of this stuff, you're like, why did you grade it? It may not be crazy now. Probably missed peak on a lot of this stuff, right? That's probably fair to say, but regardless, you feel pretty good getting back 250 basketball slabs during the season like this. It should work out pretty well. All right. Starting off with the Ja Morant Mosaic Green debut. That is a 10. Another 10. An underappreciated insert set. The My House doesn't get enough love. It's a PSA 10. And then our first 9, Ja Fanatics. This is the Wave parallel, I believe. That's what it's referred to as. Got a 9 there. Another 9. Ja We Got Next. Kind of a cool photo. Probably easier if I just scoot these up here one by one. How about a Hoops? Ja PSA 10. You got another Ja. This is just a Crusade. PSA 9. Then you've got a Ja Donruss 10. This is actually a pretty hard set to grade. Graded a bunch of these at Ja, a bunch of these at Zion, and have not had much success. Centering and corners are tough on those. And you got another Ja. This is the draft picks. That's 65. And then the base Ja, card number 2. Both in PSA 10. Had a lot of luck with Prism draft picks. That's one of those sets that just has been historically pretty easy for us to grade. So there's a pink Pulsar. And then you have an Instant Impact. Again, not major cards, right? But from what we were paying to have the cards graded and what the cards were costing, you know, a couple dollars on each, right? It still overall will be a success. There's an 8. Not too many 8s. Honestly, the sub was pretty good. This is a tough grade. But a LeBron Fanatics. It's a 10. LeBron first year optic. Got a 9 on the blue velocity. Again, big fan of that blue velocity parallel. I think it looks super clean. Then you got a couple LeBron inserts here. I think, yeah, back-to-back T-. Both 9s, but still, anything LeBron is, you know, pretty safe. And you got a My House insert. Again, one of those insert sets I really think is underappreciated. And then there's a purple Team Colors one that's kind of cool. Not super expensive, but good looking insert nonetheless. Then we've got a 6 Mitchell Robinson. If you look, there's actually a piece. I found this the other day when I recorded this the first time. There's a little piece missing in the card in the back. So, no good there. Got a Lonnie Walker PSA 10 courtside. You got 2 Carson Edwards autos from Prism. Both silvers. You got a 9 and a 10. Carson's one of those guys I wish I would have saw a little bit more out of. He could just score at will in college, and it's just, I mean, a guy that can score that much, you just hope it translates to the NBA, and it just has not so far. So, I have a couple cool things to him in case that ever does happen. but I'm not going to hold my breath. Speaking of one of those guys that hasn't done anything super crazy, Kevin Knox, first off the line. That's 8 of 13. UK guy, so that'll probably sell in shop. Miles Bridges, PSA 10 silver. 1 of 1 Bruce Brown, school colors. So it's funny, what I actually thought about doing with this originally, I would love some feedback on this, is I thought about taking like every single card in this entire sub and doing like a cheap little repack product where you're guaranteed 1 slab. Again, there's a couple, there's some winners in here. Here's a cool one. Wish it was draw, but still a card that's actually probably got to have a relatively low pop. Revolution's a hard grade. There's a 10. I'll actually put these together, so I'll jump ahead, but there's a 9. So there's a 9 and a 10. But yeah, I thought about doing maybe like a little cheap repack product. Just to, you know, I'm assuming it wouldn't be super expensive. I would have to do the math on every card in here. You know, there's quite a few cards that are going to sell for 80 to 100, and there's a couple cards, you know, that are going to sell for 15 to 35 bucks. So, wide variety. Couple winners, couple chasers. But again, it'd probably just be 1 graded card. But again, it wouldn't be super, super expensive. I figure this has got to be decent timing. Somebody said the other day that he was, his stuff was on the uptick. Not sure how true that is. Again, that's just complete word of mouth. I could be getting tricked. But go get courtside out of 5 disco. Nice Kobe White, My House purple. Yeah, I might have to add some bigger cards. I mean, there's some cool stuff in here. Like there's a Dirk over here. There's a Kobe in part 2. There's a lot of LeBron stuff. There's some Luka. So there's some big stuff. Obviously, nobody's like, hey, I really want a, you know, insert rookie of Mitchell Robinson. There's a Bruno Fernando Red Wave. It's kind of cool. I understand that. Again, that's obviously the name of a repack, but it's the name of the game. But just figured I would mention it. Either way, repack, website, shop, wherever we decide to sell them at a show. Still feels great to get these back right during the basketball season. Since we're getting ready to move here to our new location right across the street. If you haven't seen the video, it's on our YouTube page. It's also the info's on our IG, Twitter, etc. But when we move to our new location, we're going to have a lot more square footage. So got to be looking for some new stuff to put out for sale. Reddish 10. Couple more Cam 10s. Going to be looking at, you know, to expand the inventory. As we expand the inventory, that will lead to, you know, it's going to mean we're going to have to get more stuff. Not necessarily get more, I guess. It's a nice orange ice, but put some of the stuff we have out. So diversify more within the website and on eBay and in shop. So again, two-sided, having more space. A lot more space, a lot more room to put stuff out, but requires more pricing and a lot more stuff like that. So Sekou 10, probably one I might have missed the boat on. I haven't followed him much this year. I have a couple things put away in case he ever did anything. There's a Blue Velocity 10 and a Prism Sensational Signatures 9. Oh, there's a 9. Here's a 10 Kobe White. Again, My House, probably one of those sets that I would love to complete. Maybe just like a PSA 10 set. Probably not super expensive, but I think that would be kind of a cool little set to just have put back. Speaking of sets, I know a lot of people have asked, commented on the videos. The Genesis set, I'm not far away. I think I need about 25 cards at this point. There's a Fanatics Kobe White 9. Again, that's a tough set to grade. Those are often full of print lines. Probably pretty good timing on this guy. Steph Curry, I mean, on an absolute tear lately. Dude is on fire. There's a Blue Velocity. Nice silver Steph. Great looking card. Just can't go wrong with Steph stuff. And you got a nice red ice. Then a green Dominance Prism, 1819. That's our first 9 of Steph. And then you got a Mosaic green Camo as a 10. Then a Will to Win Curry. Green as a 10. Then you've got a Steph Curry finalist 10. Got another one of those sets. I just think the photography in it's so cool. MVP trophy or finals trophy, something like that. So might be a cool set to complete. USA's Mosaic Curry as a 9. So overall did pretty well on Kobe. Or on Curry. Speaking of Kobe, getting ahead of myself. NBA finalists 10. Nice one here. Select slash and dash. PSA 10. Number 6 is kind of cool. And then a silver as an 8. You can see it's off-centered, so you're automatically not going to 10 it with that kind of centering alone, so then it likely means something else is wrong with the card. There's like a line that runs through the back of it. You can see it right there. See it right there. So maybe that's it. Maybe there's a little tiny dimple right there. See that? Yeah, you can see it right there. Right there. So anything like that could have attributed to it, but still, graded Kobe. Rui Groove as a 9. Jarrett Culver Revolution Auto as a 9. This is kind of neat. This is the Fanatics Green Ice. These have got to be relatively short printed. I thought these were under 100. This was actually the set I debated doing before I did the Genesis set. It was the Fanatics Green Ice. I figured those are going to be relatively hard to find. Ended up going with Mosaic Genesis. I'm glad I did. I love that set, but that was one I debated. I thought that was kind of cool. Culver 10. Not sure how well his stuff is doing. There's an 8. I'm sure that's not a big one right there. Culver Prism 10. Tyler Herro 9. This would have been a nice one to get as a 10 with the white on white. It looks kind of cool. Good photo on that. Obviously, Herro's a guy I think is going to be around a while. There's a 10. Probably a tough grade on this one. I think this is the retail exclusive. I know the yellow is the Dollar Tree one. I'm not sure where purple is from. But there's a 10. Herro. Again, talked about it before. Prism Draft Picks being a relatively easy card to grade. There's 3 Tyler Herro 10s. So, again, not the most expensive cards in the world, but definitely added some value in that time. All right. 9, 10, 4, L, 10, 9, 10. So overall, pretty good there. In terms of the 4, this was just a miss. It's creased right through the middle. So, nothing crazy, but, or nothing crazy with the tower here. It's just a couple 10s, a couple 9s, and then a 4, unfortunately. Luka, My House 10. Luka Optic Blue Velocity. Luka Dominance Silver. Got a 10. Nice one here. Second year Prism as a 10. And you got another second year Prism as a 7. 7's a tough grade. Oh, yeah, there's a mark. Ooh. Is that a crease? What is that? You can see it right there. It is. See that? This is something. Goes all the way down the card. I have no idea, but what can you do? There's a 10. A couple more in here. All right, you got a 9, got a 10, and got a 10. So, a couple of Luka second-year cards. Obviously, really, really high on Luka and his potential. Chronicles Elite Rookie, number 278, Luka as a 10. Another one of those ones that's been pretty tough for us to grade. Hoops and Donners in general have been tough. Hoops a little bit easier than Donners, though, for sure. There's a Luka, number 268, 10. Speaking of tough, as mentioned, there's an 8. Couple Emergent 10s. Again, those have probably appreciated since that day. Couple more Luka rookies from Prism. Freshman Phenoms 10. And another Emergent 10. Can't go wrong with Luka 10s. Luka Chronicles 9, 111. This kid's going to be a stud. He is a stud. Status Rookie, 122. As a 10. And then Mosaic, Pink Camo, PSA 10. All right, last but not least, I'm actually going to save that. It's one of my favorite cards, actually, in this sub. All right, so you'll notice throughout, have a couple different random rookie silvers. I've talked about this before. If you followed my content for a while, here's the second one of Terrence Mann. Second silver. This one's of Terrence Mann. You followed my content for a while. It's one thing I've done in the years past. You got to remember, grading is different now than it used to be. Again, when you were paying only a couple dollars to grade it, anywhere from $8 to $12, depending on the year. Back in the day, it was a lot cheaper. When you were getting it cheap, you just send in a bunch of stuff, and then when they came back, the thought process was, hey, if they ever did anything, you at least had a graded rookie silver of them, right? You waited 6, 8 months, 9 months to get it back, a year, whatever it may be. But when they came back, if they ever did anything, the card's probably only costing you $1, maybe $2, maybe $3. Grading's costing you, let's say, 10 or 12. Okay, you're in it for 10, 12, 15 bucks. That's an hour's worth of work. That's, 2.5, 3 gallons, 4 gallons of gas, depending on where you live. It's just that cost, that risk in the market is not super substantial, right? If you send in a Kevin Porter Jr. like this, you probably made 30, 40, 50 bucks on something like this card. Taking some of that money and putting it a risk in a guy like those two, that when they come back, they may not be worth anything, but, let's say it was $10 to grade. I don't know. This is just a little case study thing. Let's say this was $10 to grade and $5 to buy, 15 bucks. If 70% of them 10 and the other 30% get 9s or 8s, you're probably going to not lose money at $15 in this. I have no idea what this card sells for. It could be 5, it could be 50. I literally don't have any idea. But I just have a hard time believing you can't, not lose that much money on a 9 or a 10. Even if they got a 9, it would sell for what, $5? Okay, you only lost $8. It's 2 gallons of gas in some states. So that would be my thing. And then that $4 or $8 or $10, whatever you lost on that, you could make up on average on something like this. So again, obviously a lot different conversation now than it used to be back then, but that's just kind of the thing that always went through my head. Probably one of the cards I made the most on in this sub, for nothing I did, just merely the time concept of this, that these took a while to get back, things went up, things went down. KPJ stuff's probably one of the hotter items from that time. So this is probably one I've made the most on in that time period. Just percentage-wise, just strictly if you look at everything as a percentage, what it would have been, what it is now, and you compare everything, I would assume this is one that's up the most. Terrence Davis, got a 9 silver, or the Mosaic parallel. I think that's kind of weird, Mosaic. And then green Mosaic as a 10. Again, another one of those cases for the rookies, like I mentioned. Kyle Guy, obviously off stamp. You can see that up there. Probably just an oversight. But there's a 9. Again, not going to get crushed on it, but not going to make anything really. Ruby Wave, Garland as a 10. Jackson Hayes, base Prism as a 10. I think the Pelicans are going to be good in a couple of years. They got some talent. Justin James, again, goes back to my argument. A couple more silvers. These two might be more a little better than some of the other ones, especially the Okiki. That was the thought process, right? These weren't expensive. Spend a couple bucks, get it graded, it comes back later, and boom. This, genuinely no idea what this is worth, but I'm assuming it's worth more than, 40, 50 bucks. I don't follow his market on a daily basis, but figure it's got to be worth, a couple times more than the investment. Dervitas Servitas. This is a guy I was picking up cheap. I know a couple people that came in the shop that swore this dude was going to be good. Picked up a couple things just in case. You just never know. So probably got this for a few dollars and then got it graded and then got a 10. So we'll just hang on to that, see what happens. Another one of those guys that's probably gone up since then. Again, some's gone down, some has gone up. Baisley out of 100, probably a tough grade. Revolution, I assume that's a low pop. Another nice one here, red, white, and blue, 10. Did get a 9 on an Optic Hollow. Again, if you guys know, Optic Hollows are tough grades. But I did get a purple 10. Another silver. You got Nasir Little as a 10. And another one of Isaiah Roby as a 10. So, again, I'm not saying find every single rookie silver you can send in. Obviously, the price of cards is different now. The price of grading. I'm not saying go find every single silver, send it in no matter what. But if you find things you think could get, 10s, even if they don't get 10s and you get 9s on some of them, 10s on some of them, just the average in general, I feel is pretty strong. Obviously, this argument is not as fruitful as it once was, considering the price of grading has skyrocketed in the meantime because of the demand. But that was kind of my argument back in the day. And then last but not least, probably one of my favorite cards in the sub. There's a couple in the next video, but Dirk Mojo Prism Fundamentals. I'm really big on the Mojo set. I just think it looks so cool. 25 of 25. Got to, if you followed me for a while, I actually got to go to Dallas for Dirk's last home game. It was Luka's rookie year. So I got to see Luka play as a rookie. Got to see Dirk's last home game in Dallas. It was super cool. So big fan of Dirk. What he was about, and what he was in basketball. One of the best international basketball players of all time. Certainly going to be up there with Steve Nash, Hakeem, a couple other guys. I think Luka will be in that conversation when it's all said and done. But just an absolute incredible career and was super fun to watch. Grew up watching Dirk, so that fadeaway was tough. There's a little, I guess it's probably the best term for it, fadeaway. So that was all I got. Again, part 2. It's got some Kobe, some LeBron, some more Luka, Giannis, MPJ. Those are just the guys on the top of the piles over there. I will drop that video soon. Stay tuned. Again, drop your comments. Let me know down below. But that's all I got, guys. Peace.